The Cleveland Cavaliers are legit contenders. And that might sound like a crazy thing to say because they have the best record in the NBA, but a lot of people still question them because they give them they haven't had a deep playoff run yet, and like treatment that Oklahoma City is getting because they haven't had a deep playoff run yet either, or they've been hurt or they are just new. But the and the Celtics just played one of the best games that I've watched in a while. Obviously, the Celtics started off the game like 25-2, and that was the real headline of the game to start. And then the Celtics ended up winning the quarter 38-26. But And then the Cavs won the second quarter by 2 points, and then the Cavs won the third quarter by 7 points, and then the Cavs won the fourth quarter by 10 points. And as much of a Celtics fan I am, that was pretty insane to watch the Cavaliers do to come back. Now granted, the 22 point deficit that they were in was literally like the first 4 or 5 minutes of the first quarter, so there was a lot of game left. But I mean, it was a battle. I mean, Donovan Mitchell had 41, 5 assists, shot 50%. I mean, from the field, 10 for 11 from free throws. Evan Mobley was a dog getting the rebounds. He had 12 rebounds, going along with 17 points. Darius Garland had 20 points, 7 assists, and it was crazy. And even, I mean, on the Celtics side, Tatum had a near 30-point triple double in the first half. He ended the game with 46, 16, and 9 and three blocks. He shot 51% and took 37 shot attempts. Even Brown had 37 as well. He shot 54% from the field, but it wasn't enough. The Cavs they have so many different lineups that they can go with having the two guards and two centers. We've seen all year with Kenny Atkinson that he does for most of the game. He does like Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley will come off the court, and then Darius Garland, Jarrett Allen will stay, and then the next substitution in, say in 7 minutes, they switch. So you don't really see a whole lot of the four um core pieces there of Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, and Allen all playing together. It's really only when they start the game, and it's not even really when they end the game because they opt to go with Mobley at the five. And now that they have DeAndre Hunter, he ends the game alongside a guy like Max Strus or Dean Wade. And I mean, even with the horrible start that Cleveland had in that first quarter, they still ended up shooting 48% from the field and 43% from three, and only had 7 turnovers. So that's why it was such a weird start to the game for them, because they really didn't make a lot of mistakes. They didn't have a lot of turnovers in that first part. I think they maybe had one or two. Actually, they had 3 because they said on the broadcast that they had 3 turnovers, and all of them led to threes for the Celtics. But I mean, it's typical for the Celtics to, they have a lead and then they get comfortable, and then teams start to claw back at it. And that's a thing you don't want to do with Cleveland, right? The best record in the league. And doing this, just it's always an uphill battle. And granted, the Celtics didn't have Drew Holiday or Porzingis, but again, even as much of a being a Celtics fan, you can't always use the injury card because in a playoff series, it's so rare that both teams are completely healthy that you just have to roll with what they're giving you. Now, if the Celtics were missing Porzingis, Holiday, Tatum, and Derek White, then it would be different. But I mean, Tatum and Brown were there, the two best players. Derek White is probably the third best player. So, but we didn't get anything from the bench. Al Horford, or we only had 6 bench points. The Celtics, and they all came from Pritchard. To Cleveland's had like 30 plus, just because, Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter hasn't been starting, I don't think. And then guys like Dean Wade, just giving them production. Sam Merrill hits a shot here and there, Max Strus as well. But the fact that the Cavs came back from this, and really came back and they won, because it's one thing to come back and, make the game respectable, but they actually did it. They won the game. And again, it's the regular season. It's February 28th, but so it's not the playoffs. It really doesn't mean much, because the Cavs pretty much have already cemented themselves as the 1 seed anyways. And I think the Celtics are fine with that, because they don't need the 1 seed. I don't believe that you need the 1 seed to make the finals. If the 1 seed would win the finals every year, then or the best record in the league would win the finals every year, then then there would be a real difference between the 1 seed and the 2 seed. But when the 2 seed is the team that just won the finals, not even a full calendar year ago, I mean, I don't really think it matters. Seeding, it matters in the instance of like playing versus playoff, obviously. And then for like the 4 or 5 matchup, because then, you're either at risk of having at least one playoff series or none. But I mean, 2 years ago, Miami, um, they were the 8 seed, and they won 3 playoff series and got to the finals. So again, seeding doesn't matter. It's all about matchups and who's available when playoff time comes around. And I think the real difference that we're seeing with Cleveland is that they've been pretty healthy this year. Last year Garland missed a decent amount of time, Mobley missed some time, and now they've got a lot of their guys back, and just playing a lot. Jared Allen, again, he doesn't play as much as the other 3, because they do um they do the Mobley at the 5 thing. So he only plays about 28 minutes a game. I mean, Evan Mobley plays 30, I guess, but I mean, Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, right? They're the real engine behind this. And even Evan Mobley's All-Star jump that he took this year, which it's not even like his numbers have been crazy. It's the impact and what he is able to do now. But it's scary to for team. It should be teams out east should be scared, because um the Cavs, I would say the Cavs are legit. I don't think that there is a team that they like, I don't know if we can beat them, or I don't know if they can beat us. I think although I do think the Celtics have beaten the Cavs both times this year. I don't actually know what the record of the other games this season were, but um, they said Mitchell scored 30 in every game so far. This was his first 40-point game of the year, and I talked about this on the main channel that we talk of Hoops All In, but I think Donovan Mitchell is going to start and get a little bit of the Jason Tatum treatment that he's been getting since pretty much last year, because right, Mitchell is clearly the best player on the Cavs, but his numbers are down a little bit because he's got two other all-stars and another guy who's been an all-star before, and a good bench around him that can shoot and score the ball, which is pretty similar to what Tatum has, right? He's got his co-star with Jalen Brown, Drew Holiday and Porzingis were former all-stars, and Derek White got some all-star buzz himself last year too, but they're still elite players. They're clearly the best players on their team, but other guys are getting more of the shine because they're doing stuff they weren't doing last year or the couple years before, while Tatum and Mitchell are still doing amazing. They're all NBA first, all NBA second team guys, but the other guys are getting more shine because, oh, we're used to Donovan Mitchell doing that, or hey, we're used to Jason Tatum doing that, which is it's unfair to both of them because again, I do think that's the path that Mitchell's going down already. I've heard it before, and if you just look at his numbers compared to like the year before Porzingis and Drew got to Boston, Tatum averaged 30, and now he averaged like 30 and 9, and now that once Drew and Porzingis got there last year, I think he was at like 27 on the dot, but he was a better playmaker, which I think Donovan Mitchell is too. It unlocks those guys to be more of playmakers and show what they can do when they're getting double teamed or trapped or something. And I think it really shows how good these players are because Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, even got Shea, Jokic, Giannis. You get to an elite class, in my opinion, of player when you can be the best player and you didn't score the most, but you could be the third highest scorer in the game, third or fourth highest scorer in the game, and you could still be considered as the best play. You had the best game because of what you were doing, rebounding, defensively, assist wise. Now, Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum are different, right? Tatum is a big wing. Donovan Mitchell is a relatively small guard who has never hung his hat on defense. And Tatum isn't known for defense either, but he can defend. And Mitchell certainly tries to as well. But I just think that with what the Cavs are doing, that this should open people's eyes and it should really start to take them seriously because, again, even as a Celtic fan who, right, I really wanted them to win this game. I wanted Tatum to get his 45, 50-point triple double, and he was one assist short, and for us to win this game by a bunch of points. But the Cavs really, showed what they can do, and it's sad that we are about 60 games into the year, and now some people are going to be like, okay, yeah, I'll take them seriously now. And some people still won't after this because, oh, hey, we haven't seen in the playoffs, which I think has a little bit of like, I can understand it a little bit, but I mean, if you are the better team, if you have the better players and the better core, I really don't think that playoff experience matters too much because if you're better, you're better. Now, when you get to the finals, sure, it's better to have a little bit of experience because you don't know what teams are going to throw at you, how the finals atmosphere is. But the Cavs have been in the playoffs before. They've made it to the second round last year. Donovan Mitchell has made it, I think, to a conference finals in Utah. Other than that, I mean, Jared Allen might have had a little bit of playoff time in Brooklyn, but other than that, I mean, a lot of these guys don't have playoff experience, like deep playoff experience, anyways, but they can I mean, they'll be fine. They can make up for it. So I think that the Cavs need to be treated like the one seed that they are and need to be put in as a serious contender out east and in the whole league, and teams should take notice and start to fear them.